Test, test. All right, groovy. Howdy, folks, and welcome to another episode of As the World Turns. Had to say that. Anyway, hi, I'm Dave. I'm a woodturner. Thanks for joining me this evening. Another lovely woodturning Wednesday. I got, when I got done turning last night, I turned some, if you weren't able to watch last night, you can check it out on my YouTube video. The video will be on there this evening. But I turned some Osage orange, this bowl in particular, and it looks like. Let me change the camera view. In my shop, it looks like an orange cream. Like if this was the right color, because it's flaky, fluffy like that, I could almost say it would be like toasted coconut. But it looks like a freeze dried orange creamsicle. Blew up in my shop. So it looks kind of funny. It's kind of cool. Anyway, so I turned this bowl last night, and we're gonna. I wanted to buff it this evening, and I need to change this guy. Okay. I would say I've got a bald head, but I don't quite have a bald head. I mean, there's hairs growing in there, and they like to collect shavings, and that other hat does too. So try to wear something that sheds the shavings as much as possible. It's a balmy, 15 degrees, negative 10 Celsius. This evening outside. It's quite chilly. Okay, let's get this guy aimed in the correct direction. Get my whole back threaded in there. So I am going to wear, as I typically do, a mask when I'm buffing. Just because I don't want to breathe in any of the fibers or anything that the wheel throws off. Oh yeah, and I gotta turn this dude up again to 2000 RPM. So wow, this is so nice. I mean, I'm glad that bringing this up again, the jet actually solved the problem I finally figured out on my own. I did tell them about it once or twice, but that was years ago, and I think they had enough people finally mention it, maybe, that they actually made a sturdier pulley, and just everything's so much quieter. This is just really great. Alright, so I will be using this guy in a bit. Let's get the mask on. And the glasses down. We're going to buff this. Huh. I wonder if it's the temperature. I did find some of my equipment had shut itself down. I almost had to use the audio on the laptop. Because I couldn't get the remote mic to hook up. Turns out the receiver had shut itself off. Well, I'm assuming because it's so cold, but I don't have, like, the shop isn't heated 24/7, so the equipment is going to experience that cold shift. It would be way too much, in my opinion, anyway, work to unhook everything, take it inside, and do that a couple times a week. Once things get heated up, they start to work okay, so I'll leave it at that. Wow, this is, let's see, let me set that down for a second, and we'll go, because I don't know that this camera here will do as well. And maybe if I kill that guy and bring this guy up. All right, so this is the unbuffed surface, and that's the buffed surface. It's just really bringing that grain out. Similarly, the fact that I'm buffing and the motor is slowing down, I'm getting some drag that I'm assuming it's cold related. And after running this for a little bit, it should be fine. It doesn't seem to be bogging down as much now, so and I hope maybe I don't have that turned up high enough. That's full volume. So I was having a little bit of trouble with the speech chat audio last night. Coming in, it was really garbled. That could have been any number of things, but at least I'm hearing it go off when somebody sends a chat, and makes me look up and see Orange Dan. Hey man, how you doing? How was Thanksgiving for you? How's the house thing going? How the heck are you? And Orange Dan, I'm buffing Osage Orange. Got lucky, got some seasoned Osage Orange from North Carolina, smaller block than what this was. This was 6x6x3. This piece of Osage Orange came from Tennessee. Don't recall how far outside of Gatlinburg. I was attending Aramont School of Arts at the time that this was picked up. And I'll buff the inside with the round ball. Oh my, that's a bush.
We do most of their work. The pipes under the basement
floor
have been dug out and re-replaced. We are taking bids on the front yard pipes, and we are dealing with the plumbers with lawyers.
Oh my goodness. And in the wintertime, that sucks. I am sorry to hear that. I have been I worked for a municipal water company for a while in Lakewood, Colorado. One of the jobs I had. Anyway, and yeah, just installing residential stuff in the wintertime kind of sucks. But yeah, I can't imagine. Oh my God, redoing it. I'm having to dig all that up, and Yeah, wow. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully things get resolved really nicely and very much in your favor. Wow. So, I mean, were you having leaks? What was? How did you find out about the pipe? Or was it the inspector? Wow. Pumping it really brought out the grain. The Chicoins is phenomenal. Holy smokes. Just like the other piece. Oh yeah, I've got to still sign this yet. Whoops.
Clay pipe chunks, and even copper pipes laying on top of the flex pipes.
Oh my God.
Supposed to.
Wow. I have not heard of. I mean, there's crazy things that happen in construction. Some crews like to hide their trash in the finished, behind the finished facade or whatever, instead of cleaning up all the way. But all that garbage in the trench, wow, with Plex, that's terrible. Oh my goodness. I need to sign this guy before I buff it. Let's see, there you are. Probably should have done that last night, but anyway, it does look like, at least on the other side of the lathe, I got pictures and there's been another color or two of wood chips down there, but in general, it looks like a orange cream sickle blew up in here.
4 inches between the surface and where the dirt starts. The stuff that was busted out was only 1-2 in most areas.
Wow. So they shorted you on your foundation too, your slab. Holy cow, man. Wow. Well, I could bet you're not a happy camper. Quite busy.
Orange Dan 76 said they charged us around $20K for the work. It is costing us about $35K to fix their work.
And you got to go through the hassle of the legal angle and pay those fees too up front until the judgment's ruled in your favor, and they have to pay, court costs and all that stuff, whatever, if their company can even afford that. I don't know anything about them. Let's see. Plug that guy back in. Yeah, so it's not just that, it's the court costs and all that on top of it, taking them in here. Wow. That is a shame. Okay, whoops, I'm about to forget my glasses here. Yep, I guess I better use the round buff ball here. That's alright, I gotta use it anyway. Yeah, there's tons of shit. Just the chitoyance in this piece of Osage orange. Maybe it's what's normal. I have not turned. I have not turned as far as I know any Osage orange. Maybe a small spindle piece, maybe, but it wasn't like this.
The main contractor saw red flags as they started to build the work. So he wouldn't pay Phil. They fixed the numbers. Since they haven't been paid, we aren't fighting to get it back. They are fighting to get paid. But when they dug the stuff out, I had that video recorded so that they can't say we planted anything.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Wow. Man. So does that mean it's fixed now? You had to pay to get it fixed, or they're working on it. Still, man, just holy cow. Oh, okay. Well, I'd say that was a good thing. Can't tell if that's dust I'm leaving behind. Maybe it's dust I'm leaving behind. Like it doesn't seem to be getting any more puffed in some spots, but it's like it must be dust I'm leaving behind. We'll find out when we get the white diamond on there. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, wow. Well, they're there, yep. I don't know the buffing is going to do a whole lot to the inside. I mean, it'll smooth some of it up a little bit more. But essentially, the inside of this bolt was scraped with a negative edge scraper. So it had a pretty good surface to begin with. But we're talking about end grain that wasn't sanded, shear scrape. But it's not going to have the same finish as the outside will. It'll have that seam, which I'm working on, but because I did not sand the inside of the bowl, then it's not going to have that mirror finish, although I could get that with shellac. I just really want to get a decent finish on this guy, or a decent surface, and then put a food safe finish on it. Probably my beeswax, and see where it goes from there. At some point I might maybe put lacquer on it. The actual, the real deal stuff, because that is absolutely food safe, and it just needs alcohol to put it on. Just need alcohol to prep it, and it'll it'll leave a really nice protective surface on it for a little while. You know, not gonna be forever because we're gonna be using this bowl. Not just gonna sit. That bowl, man says that bowl looks really nice. The buffing wheel makes all the difference in the world. Yes, it does make a big difference. I'll make sure I'm getting all the areas I need to get on the inside so that all of the surface is the same and will accept finish in the same way. It'll be an even, in theory anyway, coat, an even coat. Okay. Whoops. Whoa, hello. That buffware looks like I had some buildup. Used a little bit too much of that rouge or AAA, whatever you want to call it. I'll clean that off really quick with the wheel that I put it on with, since that will be the quickest way. Well, hello. Okay. I think we're all good there. We're going to go with White Diamond next. Hey, Abitus, how's it going, man?
Orange and 76 said, our values high.
Hey, what's the temperature like up there right now? Here it's you guys use Celsius, so it'd be -10 here using Celsius. I was just curious what it's like up there.
Shiny.
Shiny, yes.
Our values said, hey, at Orange and 76.
Okay. So yeah, this is that Osage orange. I don't know. Let's see if I can get this. Let me turn this light off. And just maybe. Oh, yeah.
Said 26F here today.
Wow. Okay. Look at the chatoyance in this, man. That is just incredible. You still see it on the inside, even though it's just, it hasn't been sanded, just been scraped. Oops, I got to clean a little bit more off there. I missed a spot. So I loaded this ball up a little bit too much. Okay, there we go. I think I'm finally used to the temperature out here. Take those off. And we're going for the White Diamond.
Values said, is that a polish of dust?
Yes, that was Tripoli or Rouge, depending on what your specific hobby might be. I don't know, they might be slightly different compounds. But as far as I know, it's the Rouge. Now I'm going with the White Diamond, which is a finer polishing compound, just to get the outside. Well, I want to get this bowl buffed out before I do any figure about any any finish, and I'm really thinking I'm gonna put my finish on it. The chatoiness in this is amazing. Anyway, let's get this guy started. So, anytime working the surface, I want to go. It goes all the way from turning, even before you turn, splitting the piece, if that's what you're going to do, split the wood. It's all about following the grain and getting that grain support. And so that's what I'm doing, even with the buffing wheel. I want to follow that grain. Where I've got support, I'll have a better finish. And if I didn't. So the outside of this this bowl was sanded to 320. I usually my thing is I usually go to 220. Even with buffing, if I buff, I think 220 is a really nice finish. We use 123, also called OB Shine Juice. I do, but I use
Orange 76 said, I guess 3K RPM on that wheel.
The wheel's Holland, yeah, 2,000 RPM. Yeah, I did get the recipe from Captain Eddie on his website, or I can't remember where. I think it was on his website. And I wanted to get away from denatured alcohol. Well, not what did I change out? Oh, I wanted to get away from denatured alcohol because I was doing a lot of the finishes with. I just didn't want to use that stuff. So I changed it up a little bit, and I used orange oil as the solvent, pure orange oil as a solvent in mine. But yes, I do use it. I just use I just traded out orange oil for the denatured alcohol. But other than that, the rest of it's the same. And when I worked with it inside, I didn't have to worry so much about the denatured alcohol and the fumes inside. Excuse me. All right, so now we're off to the round, dude. Actually, it very definitely smells like oranges. Um, the orange oil is a really strong solvent, a great cleaner too. I bought it from, oh my gosh, the name of the company starts with a D. I can't remember. Anyway, it's pressed, pure, like 99% pure, 98% pure orange oil. It's amazing stuff. In fact, I bet if I put orange oil on this dude, well, we'll find out when I get the wax on this. Okay, so I think I had a little bit of buildup. I hope I got it off on the interior of the bowl. Let's see. Yeah, that's cleaner. Okay, so double check the inside of the bowl here. Make sure I don't have any film I'm leaving behind. I did kind of load this one up too, and I probably shouldn't have. But I got rid of the heavy stuff on the inside. Okay, there we go. Oh, I should turn this down. Let's see, wait, what am I doing next? Yeah, I'll turn this down. Not cooking so much now. But yeah, that's the only time I have the lathe up that fast. I mean, I guess this thing goes to 30, I think it's 3,200 RPM. Might be 36. I can't remember exactly. But I've only turned at that speed one time. I don't find it necessary. I learned early not to get hung up on, like, learning something from somebody and getting hung up on what speed they were turning at, because it didn't matter. What mattered is what speed I was going to turn it at, and that would be at what speed I was comfortable with. So I try to tell everybody, don't get hung up on lathe speed. Don't go like that will make you a better turner or give you a better piece or something like that, because that's just not the case. Some people turn real fast, some people don't. And in my case, there's been a lot of pieces that I have. I can take the mask off here in just a second. What was I going to do? Oh, yeah. There we go. I need this. But in my case, I've had a lot of pieces that I've turned at the slowest speed my lathe will turn, and it's not on purpose. It's been accidental in most cases, actually. It has been purposeful in a couple cases to show that, yeah, you can turn at whatever speed you want. I typically turn, I'm going to say somewhere in the neighborhood, somewhere around 800 most of the time, according to what the Reeves drive readout says. So, however well that's calibrated and whatnot, take it for what it's worth. I'm sure it's in the neighborhood. Wasn't sure if I heard a crack. That would be a huge bummer. Come on, lamp. You're plugged in and stuff. I think I need to take this apart and fix the switch. It was chip switch to begin with. So no go. No go. Okay, no light for you. Let's see. Oh, shoot. I didn't bring out the buffing balm here. There we are. So I'm having fun with this piece because it's, well, I mean, for one, it's pretty much the second piece of Osage orange that I've ever turned. It just looks really cool. Oh, I heated it up. So it's reacting a little bit like, unless that was in the wood already, there's a possibility. Well, I'm not seeing it anywhere else. So there was a couple of really small checks in there. Only now seeing it because the way the light's hitting it. They're very, very, very small. I thought they might be heat checks, heat cracks from buffing, but they're not. There's one there and one there, and none anywhere else that I can see. So it's not the buffing that did it. So that's a good sign. That's a very good sign. And that would be Superstitious Claga Zaga 39K. Hey, thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate you throwing in a chat for me. Anytime you want to come by and do that again, I appreciate it. It does help the metrics to have people talk in chat. So thank you very much. I won't be visiting your site, though, just so you're aware. But, hey, you can hang out. I appreciate it. All right, so we're going.
Cheap viewers.
Yeah.
Christmas present for Dave.
Yeah. Hey, better than cheap booze. We're not going for that. I haven't had a drink in a long, long time, but I will say I have learned over the years that I have drank that if I'm going to drink anything, it's going to be the good shit. All right, so I'm at my lowest speed now. I'm going with the buffing balm here. Ooh, wow. Look at that orange just come right out. Oh my gosh.
No Costco box line for you.
You guys have Costco up there? I did not know that. I thought it was just like an American gig. I don't frequent the place myself. It's just another box store here in Michigan, but I didn't know they were in Canada as well.
Yes, Costco has gotten a lot of money.
Oh, okay.
I get gas there.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people do here too. Yeah, fairly decent prices. I have, like I said, I don't have a membership or whatever it is, but if I did have a membership, they'd get most of my money in gas probably. I mean, it's a box store. I don't, they have other things. I've been in the Costco here once or twice. They have other things other than like bulk grocery items. It's a box store. There's some cool shit. But I don't need bulk grocery items like that. I can't eat that much.
Try to support small local business as well.
Oh, heck yeah, man. Definitely got to do that.
Not everyone needs 80 pounds of flour.
Right. Although, I've gotten jeans from there. I've gotten jeans from the Walmart. What's it at Sam's Club? Um, a few things over the years, chairs, a few things. Maybe, I have gotten some groceries from both of them, but it's like I don't have enough storage space, or nor do I eat anywhere near enough to buy bulk like that. Maybe bulk paper products and stuff like that, I guess. But I mean, I can buy that at other stores. I don't need to pay the membership fee. Although I think I should check out Sam's Club because I think they actually do a uh, have a better price for veterans and better deal.
Clothes are pretty cool. I get to meet there as well when it is on sale.
Oh, Kirkland makes clothes? I didn't know that. I knew they do batteries and a bunch of other things. I had no idea that the Kirkland brand goes on clothing. Far out, man. Well, I just learned something new. I guess, woo, man, that got hot. It doesn't really surprise me, but Kirkland water, Kirkland, all kinds of Kirkland stuff, but not clothing. Don't, I almost lost it. All right, so that should be nicely buffed in there. I'll just have to do the bottom. Holy cow! Wow. Let's do
About
this.
is, said, the non-Kirkland clothes are great as well. I think a lot about Kirkland brand stuff is just rebranded brand name products. About is, said, that looks awesome.
Wow, look at that chatoyance, man. That is just killer. I mean, the grain pattern itself reminds me of mahogany, like I was saying last night. But holy smokes, that is just amazing. All right, so I got to do the bottom of this
M80
guy.
underscore K14 said, hi.
Hey, Mav, how you doing? Glad you made it back. I'm buffing this bull I started last night. I should have done a. Oh man, I should have taken a before picture actually, and I didn't. A goon. But swap the camera views there. So my buffing balm really brought that orange out, and that
M80
chatoyance
underscore K14 said,
is
stay
killer.
busy and warm this holiday season.
Yeah, likewise. Okay, get a little bit more of this stuff. It's probably too much. Yep. Yeah, I don't recall what feed and wax or whatever that was. I think it was feed and wax. For some reason, my brain went to weed and feed, and that's like not the same thing. uh, I don't recall what it smells like. I know it's a. What I recall about it is that it's a softer kind of a paste wax, like really soft. I haven't used it on any of my woodwork, mostly because it's got petroleum products in it, and as part of its makeup, and I try to do everything I can to stay away from petroleum products as much as I can. I mean, there are pieces that Danish oil is, depending on where it's going to be displayed or showed or whatever, you need the Danish oil, the museum quality, blah, blah finish. Or at least gallery finish. I don't know how much of that. I don't know. I don't have any idea what this, museum finish would be. No clue. Or even really a gallery finish. I guess for me, it's whatever finish I put on it. That's the finish that's on it. But I don't. I mean, some pieces like the more arty pieces, right? That aren't going to be handled all the time, not intended for food. They're meant to be displayed and stay nice and pretty and shiny and shit for years. So yeah, I'm going to use petroleum products on those things. But I do my best to stay away from it. Yeah, that's it's still, man. I think the upper camera does a better job of showing that chatoyance. Just killer. Trying to follow along in the camera with the bouncing bowl here, and I'm not doing a good job. You can see the chatoyance running through all that. That's cool. That's a nice piece of timber there. Nicely shaped bowl. That's definitely a keeper. Moving on. Let's put this inside. That's been buffed now. It looks.
The bad news, say.
Oh, you know what? Let's do this.
M50_K14.
I want to do something really quick. Let's do a side-by-side comparison because while the grain is going to be different, I must have to assume it's going to be different because I can't swear that both of these blanks came out of the same tree. So we'll just make the safer assumption that they're from different trees, or at least wildly different areas of a single tree, if that's a possibility. This one came from North Carolina. This one came from, they were both wood stores, so who knows, the same, whatever. I don't know. Anyway, this was not buffed. It was just sanded to 220. And the chatoyance in that, it's a slightly lighter color. I used the buffing balm on that one, and this is a darker Osage orange. So obviously there's going to be variations. Osage orange. So obviously there's going to be variations in species. You see it all the time in all other things. So why not Osage orange? That is a pretty orange though. I'm more of a yellow guy. I like this one a little bit more because it's more yellow. I like the yellow woods, but the oranges are kind of cool. I have to find different woods and put them together and just get those color combinations. I think that will be cool. Okay, so we're done with these. That's a side by side though. This was buffed and this was not. This was sanded to 320. This was 220. I probably should have sanded them both just to 220 just to have that side by side comparison. But even at 220, let's do this. There we go. Even at 220 and not buffed with the buffing balm, it really brings out that chatoyance. That's very cool. All right, moving on. Put these back inside. Cool. Now I'm the only one I know that has an orange bowl, and it's not colored or dyed or painted. if that means anything in particular. I really doubt it, but just sounded funny to say. Okay, so I have this lovely piece of cherry that I want to take a spin with. It's still, actually, this is a piece that was off that huge, that huge piece of crotchwood. This was one of the pieces I was able to salvage out of that trunk.
That is
And
Chateauins learned a new wood today.
even with that, I've got, this is where the tree actually broke inside, and this was part of that crotch, that big, huge. Oh man, let's see. The largest limb on that crotch was like 16 inches or so. The smallest one looked like it was closer to 12. There was 3 branches all coming out, plus the main trunk. But when it fell, this would be my guess, is that it had internal breaks. But this one goes kind of straight, and I was going to do this in spindle orientation anyway, but it's not going to hurt to do some more assessment before we throw it on the lathe. I want to have the most fun possible, and that includes being safe and putting safe things on the lathe. So we're going to do some assessment and make sure that it is, in fact, going to be okay. So what I see here, this is all going to get turned away, so I don't see a problem because that break looks like it stops somewhere half an inch, 3/4 in, and it doesn't come really. Oh, maybe a little bit to the surface there. I've got some checks here. I can see there's spalting in this. The grain looks pretty wild, man. So I'm thinking that this might look really cool. I don't see any other real issues. There's another split. Check. I guess it would be a check, right? Because the wood's pulled itself away. It's pulled itself apart. Or maybe that's, I don't know. Split, check, whatever. I always feel like a split will be along the lines, like a ring check, where it's spread apart. That when you're splitting it, that's, I don't know, whatever. So we'll start on. Oh, I need that guy. This is the one I need to get rid of. We're gonna start on my favorite spot. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there who know what my favorite starting point is. And that would be between centers every chance I get. Because I have a whole lot more freedom of movement and ability to take advantage of features that show up and or maybe disappear. So I'm going to say we'll start with this side. We'll go right there. Still heavy in the bottom. Ooh, that went a little too far, so I'm going to move this one back just a bit. That's really close. There it is. Yep, went just a little too far that time. Let's see, hold on a second. Okay, so it's definitely just a touch too much that way. And that's probably a touch too much the other way. And if so, dang, I barely moved that. Wow, okay, that looks pretty close to centered on both sides there, so I'm just going to move this guy. That moved quite a bit. That surprised me. But it is kind of green wood too, so there is a little bit of water weight in here that might be going kind of wonky, depending on how it's drying. Thought I took that down far enough. Let's try there, right there. Okay, that's the balance point. So working it up and just, increments up on one side and then the other, that gets me to where I need to be. So now let's make sure this dude is secure in the lathe. And we'll start giving it some shape with a longer tool rest. I think it needs to be right about there. Let's see. Ooh, that's actually low. I'm surprised. All right. Make sure all this is going to clear. And I think I'm still at, well, shouldn't matter a whole lot. Since I'm on the balance point, I'll have a little bit of vibration, but nothing really terrible. I'm just hogging stuff off, just moving as fast as the tool can cut. Don't need to rush it. Cutting a lot of air. Okay, so that get rid of most of that. Well, that's what's left, or that should be gone. By the time I get this round, I can see I've got some splits, checks going on in there. Let's see what happens, man. Let's see. splits and checks may add character there too. Doesn't seem like they're making those teeth necessarily unturnable. Uh-oh. Oh, good. I do have air. Dust cover came off here. Maybe when I blew that earlier. Oh, now I'm starting to reveal some punkiness there. A lot of this is pretty good solid wood, though. So, kind of punky all in here. A little bit there. Still got to get down to below that level, that natural edge. But there's some cool looking features in here. Maybe if I think I might, you know what? I think I'm going to make this into an urn, perhaps. And put some feet on it. Have that. Oh, well, I don't know. I got to think about that. Would that be on the bottom? It's probably better if that would be on the bottom with that split there. I don't know. Take it down some more and see. What the hell? Okay, I guess I gotta tighten down my coil every time. My hand wheel seems to want to unwind with the vibration. Not that there's much vibration here, but it's enough to make the hand wheel turn. And I don't need my live center to back out. Okay, so now I've got a cleaner surface. Let's see what we got going on. All right, so this is a little bit punky. This is chipping out, so I'm going to try to get past this stuff. I still got to get down, what is that, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch anyway. But this is looking kind of cool. I think I need to figure out, this may be the bottom. That's my only concern, is that right there. And that is bark inclusion plus bit of a split. So I wonder if I can shoot some CA glue in there in a bit. I don't know. It's still a little green. Sorta. Trying to clog up the sandpaper, but fortunately, mostly what I'm hitting is bark. So most of that will wipe off, but the wood that I'm picking up is definitely clogging it up. Okay, I'm gonna shoot some CA glue. Well, let's get this down. Thinkity think. Maybe I should do that first. So I'm gonna do that first. Go grab some thin CA glue and the accelerant. Where's my thin CA? There it is. Okay. And a bit of paper towel would be helpful right here. So that's definitely bark there. I don't know how far that goes down because it's not really seeping out of the side yet. Whoops. Doing my best not to stick myself with CA glue. That's never fun. Well, I don't know where it's all going, but it ain't coming out the side, really. Don't see it wet anywhere else. All of this is that's what all of this is bark. Ooh. Huh. All of this is bark inclusion. That is trippy. How cool is that? That's kind of neat. All right, so this is going to be the top. All right, I want all of that to be showing up to the party.
A bad is, say, is that a good do or a bad do?
Oh, it's a good one. It's a good one. Good question. Yeah, that's going to be very different. All right, so this will be the bottom. And I'll carve the feet in that, dude, and we'll hollow out of there. That works for me. All right, I'm going to get rid of this CA glue now. I've kind of seen similar bark inclusions in like fir trees, or the pines. Some different firs or pines, conifers, whatever they are. Conifers, non-deciduous. Yeah. Or I guess cedar is still the only really true conifer anymore. I don't know. Anyway, so I've seen that kind of bark inclusion in some pines. I don't recall seeing it in cherry before. That's really, really cool. Okay, let me... Interesting. What is that? Oh, because of all that bark. Man. Time to swap out the tool. Let's see, I should get a better cut going that way. See how that looks. A lot better. I don't really like this so much because it just looks all kind of muddy. But it's the tree breaking down. So hopefully once that's dried and maybe buffed, that will do some amazing things. But this is going to be wild. Okay, so now I can do... Oh, yeah, I can do this. Okay. Gotta pay attention to these splits. And it looks like a lot of the punkiness is gone, I think. No, I think I will stop using microfiber out here. I just can't keep the shavings off of that stuff. Okay. Okay, so yeah, still got a little bit going on, so I may need to shorten it a bit. Let's see. What I really want to see next is oh my goodness. You know what? That is, yeah, I was right. That's all bark. Bark interspersed into the wood, like it's just all woven in there. That's really wild looking. And I got some nice spalting started too. Some spalting there. Starting to here and there. A little bit there, but I got some nice black lines started there. Yeah, cool. All right. Okay, so this guy needs to go in. I wonder if I can get away with this. Oh, maybe. Let's turn it completely sideways, though. I want to try to get my skew working on this. Did I put it away? I sure did. Eeny, meeny, miny, wait, where'd you go? Pretty sure I put it away. I fell down over here. Okay. There it is. Okay. I think so. Yeah, I don't think I can get my tool rest high enough to really do that safely. Gave me a fairly nice surface, but can't get quite the right angle. Can with that. Okay. Let's see, now we need to take this back a ways. That should be enough. Move this way a little bit. There we go. I don't come off the tool rest here. Just coming back little by little. I'm going to keep this curve going. I got to keep bringing it back further and further to get down to the base and where the base is going to be. Oops. Just going to make a comment about not varying the speed once you're moving the tool. And I did just that. Okay, I think that's a good start there. You can use a spindle gouge or whatever you want to use on this. I'm just using a bowl gouge. I'm going to keep in mind that handle has to swing pretty far, following the curve. It's really not that um, difficult, I guess. It's monitoring how fast you're moving across the surface versus where your handle has to track to. Okay, I think that's looking really, really close to where I want the shape, and then I'll carve some feet down here. I'm going to have to pay attention to that. I mean, it's punky, but maybe it'll be solid enough. Let's see. I really cut a foot here, here, and here. I cut 3 feet. I think I can avoid all that punkiness when I'm working on the feet. So let's take that base down a little bit more. Let's see what I want to do. could put this on a glue block to hollow it out. Or I could put it in a chuck. And I think I'm going to opt for the chuck. I also got to think, how the heck am I going to hold this? Well, I'm going to have to turn as much as I can out of the bottom. All right, how do I want to do that? I could make a jam chuck. Got that rhythm. Got that rhythm of rhythm. Okay. Thinkity think, think, think. How do I want to do this? Do I have a piece big enough to create a jam chuck is the first question. I don't think that I do. Let's take a look at this guy, though. Just be sure, since I keep coming back to this one for all of my jam chucking needs. That's going to be too small. I'll do. All right, let's see. So what I think I'm going to do, because I don't have a large enough piece to make a jam chuck to be able to turn the bottom of this once it's hollowed. I don't see anything else anywhere else. So I guess I'm going to have to turn this around more than once. Okay, I'm at the point now where I can do some scraping and shear scraping here. Well, you see, I'm not using a handled tool. This is a very safe cut to make. Can't get a catch with it. Even if the top wing was a touch, it's not going to do anything. It might get a little bit of tear out, perhaps. But this is a very safe cut to make. And then the shear scrape. Similarly positioned on the safety ladder. Shear scrape, even if the top wing touches, nothing's happening. Might get some marks on the timber, but no catch. Can't get a catch. And without the handle in the way, I don't have to worry about the handle hitting this. If I need to get really low, nothing really much gets in the way of just the tool steel. So since this is such a safe cut to make, I don't feel like I'm getting away with anything I'm working within the framework of it all, right? So there's really no danger. I'm following the rules I've learned as I've come along. And then we'll do some sanding. If it's dry enough to sand. We'll find out. That looks like the bark was just splashed in there, man. That is just really cool looking. It's a heck of a find. I feel pretty lucky finding that. I don't know what that's gonna do. See if I can fill that in a little bit more. Yeah, let's do that while we have the chance and before I actually have to sand it. So I've got some bark over here. Let's see, where is it? There it is. And I've got the glue in here. We're an American band. We're coming to your town. We'll help you party down. We're an American band. Coffee Grounds has a similar look to it. Some people use coffee grounds. I haven't used dried coffee grounds yet, but it still looks like bark. Um, or it still can look like bark. Let's put it that way. stay. So that's still wet. If that is a good term for CA glue. I doubt it. Probably that's still uncured liquid. Alright, so patted some more in there. Now I feel a little bit better about sanding that spot. Oh, come on now. Okay, leave that there, that there. Not take it all the way inside this time since I have gone for it twice. Set it on the drill press. Have it available. Alright. I'm going to need my mask in a second. Little bit of cuticle maintenance, pardon me. Okay, groovy. I am looking for this. The mask. And I think this too, yes. I think I'll take T out of this one. Okay. Let's move this aside. Oops. Ooh, boy, am I glad I put the mask on. Holy smokes. Okay, so it's definitely definitely drying up the sand. Looks pretty good. Yeah, getting below the surface, the dried surface now. It's starting to slowly clog this up, but I think I just need to make one more pass. Oh, that's a nice surface there. It's like really hardwood and then just shot through with all kinds of bark. But that's really hard there. So maybe that CA glue, all that, this won't come apart when the rest of it dries. Yeah, I hope. Since this is really hard, it might try to separate somewhere when this changes shape. But I hope not. Okay, so the next step, yeah, that's solid wood. A little bit, just a tad bit of punkiness, but mostly solid wood. So I need to get my chuck jaws swapped out. That looks odd. Like the surface of it looked kind of blurry. So I'm just going over it with really light sanding. And it was mostly like right up in here, you can see a color difference. That's taken care of now. Okay. That's going to be interesting with finishing it. It just looks muddy and weird, but that's going to be interesting. This is the main feature, I'm going to say. Okay. So I'm going to let the dust die down a bit. I say that, stirred up a little bit, but
That is saying, hey, thanks, that paranoid squanch.
hey!
That is
Hey, Squatch, how you doing, man? How's it going, Dave? Okay, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I gotta change the jaws out. Do these guys. So I am done there, yes. Whoops.
Paranoid squanch said, happy holidays.
That's cool, man.
Paranoid squanch said, that's now have a nice look to it, Dave.
I hope so. Thanks. Oh, yeah, I gotta get this guy out of here.
Paranoid squanch said, hi, may I have nice.
Need nice niece. Let's see. You are number what? 4. figure out where to mask until I'm done with this. I don't really see any dust floating around, but give it more time to settle out. Should check this. I hope I'm not between sizes. Because then I'll have to do this again. Oh man, I'm right at that. I got maybe a 16th of an inch gap between the jaws, so really it's like it couldn't be any really better than that. That's pretty cool.
Paranoid Squatch said, need an adapter?
No, it's actually perfect. The prevailing theory is, I can take this mask off now. The prevailing theory is that the strongest hold in on the jaws of the
Paranoid
chuck
Squatch
is when
said,
there is,
log SHTN, a plan comes.
yeah,
Paranoid Squatch said, together.
together. Yes, sir. The strongest hold in a chuck is where you have the smallest gap between the jaws and they're not completely closed all the way down. That is the strongest hold that it can have. The smaller the gap, the closer the jaws are to an actual, circle. I think with most jaws, I guess they cast it or they create it out of one chunk and then cut it in quarters. But that is, that's a really good hold. That's awesome. Okay. I might need that guy. Okay. Okay. So I'm thinking this thing through as I go on. Basically, what I want to do is this. I would like this to be the rim of the piece. Actually, I may adjust that curve just a little bit more. I may adjust that curve a little bit. Actually, I am going to adjust that curve a little bit. But what I want to do is I want to create a hold in here for the chuck so I can get down to a closer approximation of where my feet are going to be. And then I can turn it around again and hollow it out. A few too many times of turning this thing around, but I don't have a jam chuck or something I can use. to jam this into, and I don't want to have it in a expansion hold, especially because of all this bark. This is really hard wood bark, and it's kind of split right there, so I don't want to have it in a big expansion hold. I'm going to have to use a little bit of an expansion hold right now, but I'm just going to size it for what I got going on right now. Why are you loose? You should not be loose. I think that should be deep enough. Oh, let me change the camera. Oh, and I bumped the camera too, apparently. Let's get that set properly. Okie dokie. There you are. I don't think I need that anymore either. All right. Let's mark this guy. Oh, of course not. Oh, man, I'm going to have to go between jaws. All right. Well, if that's the case, bring those other jaws back out. That's a bummer. I should have expected this, though. I can't use the other jaws either. The other chuck is too small. So we will do this. Let's get this guy out of here. Okay. Such the bummer. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la. Still tail on that dude. This is why I think it's handy to have more than one chuck. Doubles of the same, or at least doubles. I don't know. In my case, it's turned out to be doubles so far. Just to, it's the expense, I guess. But the time, not that this takes a while, but still, got to change the jaws. I could just change the chuck. Got to take it off anyway. But I don't have a spare $500 at this point to get another Vic Mark chuck. It will happen. Well, maybe it'll happen. Okay. Hopefully I don't have like too much of one-track mind. I'm like just trying to troubleshoot this process based on tools I don't have, or perhaps don't exist, or I don't want to take the time to make a big freaking jam check for this guy. Oh, damn. You know what? I just remembered I actually have one. Ah, that's funny. I do actually have one. I think. Okay. Move that aside for just a little bit. I didn't really think about that, but I do think I want tailstock support. And I'm using the tailstock as a for leverage anyway to get that seated up there. So that's running true before I even put the tailstock up there. What am I turning at? 400. Oh, well, that explains a few things. All right. So now I want to create the bead that I'm going to carve these feet out of. On tool. There we go. And I think I'll give it just a slight OG just for the hell of it. And that will be where my feet are carved. So now, let's take a look at this guy. So I've got crack going that way, crack going that way. I can't tell what this is. Doesn't quite look like a crack. Okay, so I can put a foot here. Hey, let's do it this way. That might be close. Let's try that. Nope, not close. Shorten it just a little bit too much. There we go. Alright, so I'll have the first foot here. Next foot will be there. Well, that's mighty soft, but hopefully that'll be okay. Which puts me right back, wow, a little bit further off than I wanted. So, let's try this. There. There. And there. Okay, that works. commemorate that with a mark. Okay, that goes away, this goes away. Now that curve needs to be tucked in just a bit. That might be a little tall on the feet, but let's see. That means that my bottom right about in there. Really close to that. Alright, now I need this guy and this guy. Something like that. Yep, just working out how I'm going to hold all this stuff so I can get to the hollowing part. Alright, so that gets me pretty much most of the outside done. Did a little bit of carving. I don't think I'll need to do any more turning down there, but maybe. See how close I am. If I follow that down, that goes right into here, so it should be right at that level. Yeah, I'm like really, really close to where it should be. some stuff, man. You're on time. Quarter after 10. All right. Now, since I've got this out, that's right, I wanted to do a little something about this curve here. Cool beans. All right. Put that aside. That aside. What dropped the tool? We want that back over here. That guy can get that away too. So I'm looking for any splits. Can't really see them now. Oh, there it is. One right in there. So that's not going to matter to the chucking process. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. All right. So let's see, are we running through? Oh, yes, we are. We're going to stay with some support there for a little bit because I want to adjust this curve. It's a little too straight. Ooh, almost got it. There we go. He's got to look good, man. He's got to look good. Okay, mask time. Mask time. All right, let's see. Yeah, darn it. Looks like I need to fill that in some more. But I did not take it all the way inside. And I'm going to do a little something different. Okay. Okay. Paper towel. Just about filled in. Ooh, man, that's harsh. There we go. Now it's filled in. So I try to pack in fine sawdust and then create it when I'm sanding before I ever hit it with the accelerator. That sanding and then packing that in there just really packs it in tight, seals all that up. I've had a lot of success selling tracks that way.
Our values say, this is a new hobby. Sand off the wood just to glue it back on.
Yeah, I had that conversation sort of on Instagram with Steve the Woodturner and Dave Dalby and let's see who else was involved. I don't know, I'll think of it here in a minute, but about you only take so much off because you can't put it back on. And I said, yeah, if you could get me a product. And Steve the Woodturner says, yeah, here you can get this product in the UK. I'm like, yeah, okay, I think you're joking, but I want to know what the product is that lets you put wood back on. The only stuff I know is glue and sawdust. I mean, you can't just, I don't know, regrow a surface. Okay. Yeah, that looks really nice. Okay, that part's done. Yay! And there was much rejoicing. Yay! Let's see, let's get rid of this guy. And should I do that? Man, I'm going to go 2.5 inches anyway. Nah. So I may have to set up the hollowing system here, but first I'm going to try to avoid that. Let's see. I can take this off now. Clearly I don't need these jaws anymore, so I'll take those, put them away so they're not going to, oh, I don't know, fall into the shavings sometime. And then disappear. Oh, come on. Okay. And then, let's see, I want this guy. Les spindle gouge. So how are we looking up here? I hope that it shows up pretty well. It's hard to tell by my computer, but that's a really, really neat feature. We'll see how this turns out. Let's go back to that view and see how
Paranoid
this
Squatch said, looking good.
turns out. But Yeah, we'll be all right. So this is not too straight. It all has a gentle curve, and let's just, yeah, I don't have any flat spots. So it's a nice slow curve up. Light's still not going to work. All right, fine. All right, 1 second, I gotta blow my nose. All right, going on to the hollowing. Let's get the right angle first. It might be a little low, but we'll try it. A little bit low. And what the heck, we can speed this guy up a little bit even. Oh, I got the wrong camera on. There we go. Man, I'm getting a lot of dust everywhere today. This is a weird hobby, sand off the wood just to glue it back on. Yeah. I didn't get a chance to read that. That's too true, man. That is too true. I wish this light would work. What is the deal with this light? You are not working for me. Why? I need your help, sir. You are not helping me. Why are you not helping me? Okay, I'll take you apart later and fix you for good. Yes. Oh yeah, it's still a little bit low. I think that ought to do it. Let's find out. Well, let's try this on for size. Let's see. Go back that far. like something also got unplugged. What would that be? Oh, never mind. I cannot tell what fell off. Oh, that's what fell off. Ruh-roh. I'm gonna need that tool. Alright, I gotta check the other side. My bowl gouge fell off. I'll be wanting that. There it is. So I'm gonna go as far as I can get with. Oh, that's dull anyway. Jeez. Alright. Move on to the next bowl gouge then. And I'll go as far as I can go. Got 20 minutes, I guess, something like that. I'm not going to take the time to set up the hollowing system. I'll probably do that tomorrow. Well, and then there's that. So, we'll just. Okay, so just squirted off the chuck. Nothing's damaged. It hit the shavings, so there's no bounce marks. Oh, I got lucky on that one. So I'm going to cover this up, and I will break out the hollowing system to take care of this tomorrow.
Bull had left the chat.
Yeah. Elvis has left the building. So got a bit of a catch right there. And there's a lot more potential for that the deeper I go. So I will just use the hollowing system since I can't get either one of my gouges that deep anyway without a lot of vibration. And I was hoping to clear out more of this than I did. But fortunately, all this did was squirt out. So that's a bonus. Nothing broke or broke out or split. And we're back to running fairly true. I'll fiddle with it here and we'll get it right back to where it was. I should have marked it. Let's try that. That's close enough for me. That works. This part is definitely running true. This is a little wobbly, and that's just a hair wobbly, but this is all running fairly true. So we'll go with that. And I'll wrap this guy up with plastic here in a second. Yeah, that'll work. I don't know. Let me see. Let's monkey with it. Let's see. We got time, right? That's jaw number 4. So let's spin it a little more. Try to find the next click. There it is. By click, I mean little detente or dimple from where the jaws were holding it before. I'm going to call that up. I'm going to do the same thing with the other side too. The last bit too, but hey, what the heck. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. What is this? I need to take care of that. Looks like coming off the bark, the abrasive skipped a little bit. Let's do something about that. Before we wrap this up, a mask would be helpful right about now. All right. Take this mask off. Let's see, I got plastic right there. And this is good timing too because I'm actually feeling kind of tired. I don't want to be turning when I'm feeling this way. But I'm very close to the end of the broadcast anyway, so let's wrap this guy up. Doesn't dry out too fast. Gotta turn safely, man. It won't let me wrap. Okay, well, then we'll do it this way. So I keep this little strip of Velcro on the lathe just for this, just to hold the ends closed. Be aware, I have found out over the years, this ink, you don't want to turn the bag inside out. That ink will come off and go right onto the wood, the timber, and it can be a bear to get off. So when you use these plastic bags, don't do them inside out. From drying out fast, it slows down the drying process. There is through the spindle is open, so there's a little bit of airflow that way, not a whole lot. So it slows it down quite a bit. The water in the wood will start to migrate now because I've taken and changed the outside surface and removed all that, exposed all that. So now the water is going to start migrating around and moving. We don't want it coming out of the surface really, really fast. We don't want the shape changing too much overnight because I got to hollow this thing out and I want to have an even wall thickness. So I don't want to have an egg-shaped piece of timber. If I didn't wrap this, it's chilly out, and it would still, even the cooled air would slow down the drying process. But this will slow it down quite almost to almost nothing. There will be some water that will migrate to the surface, which I'll be able to see because it'll color the wood.
That
when
is, say, maybe that is why my buddy's wet wood turning worked.
yes, yes. In this case, I don't want it to warp yet. I don't mind if it warps after it's hollow. It won't be totally dry at that point, so it is going to change shape anyway. But I don't want to do it now while I still have to get that even wall thickness. But yeah, if you leave a piece on the lathe green and you don't cover it, it's gonna. I mean, it will move a little bit anyway because you've changed the dynamics between the fibers of the surface that was and the surface that is now. All that the dynamics of that has changed, so things are going to move a little bit, but it won't move as much as it would if it was trying to dry, and I won't get all those extra cracks and splits that might happen. So that's why I want to wrap it. But the PSA really is to not turn the bag inside out, because this ink, it's happened to me a couple of times, 2 or 3 times, and that was enough because it can be difficult to get that ink off. The red ink is a little bit more difficult, I think, than the green, but that's memory, and it's been a while. So, in any case, try not to do that. But yeah, I can leave this sit now overnight. Actually, I could leave it sit for probably 2 or 3 days and not have a whole lot of movement. The wood itself isn't super green and wet. It is still green, but it's not super wet. It wasn't throwing water off. I was able to sand it pretty quickly after I got down to the surface, so there's not a whole lot of water in there, but I don't want it, like I say, to escape right away. I've also now added a hole down here, right? I've taken out that mass, so the water that's in this is going to migrate in this what is that, 2 inches thickness there. That water's going to migrate, and that's going to move a little bit. So it's just trying to mitigate as much of that as possible. It doesn't have to be a plastic bag. It could be, shrink wrap or whatever you want to use. Visclean doesn't matter. This I just have these handy. These aren't super airtight or anything like that by any means, but it's enough to slow the drying process down very, very, very slow. And that's what I want, because, as I said, I've got to get this even wall thickness. And if it's an egg shape, I'm going to have on 2 sides, it's going to be thin, and on 2 other sides, because of the oval shape, it's going to be thicker. And that's not what I want to start with. Okay, let's crawl right back up to this guy and this camera. So I'm going to wrap it up this evening. Let's go ahead and kill that dude. I'm going to wrap it up this evening because I'm not going to spend time. It's going to take me about 10, 15 minutes to set up this hollowing system, and then, another, I don't know, half an hour or so to hollow this out. Maybe not that long, but I don't know, less than half an hour. But still, I don't want to take the time to set it up this evening. I'm feeling kind of tired, and it's a good time to stop and not push. No, don't push it. I tell that to turners a lot. Don't turn tired or intoxicated or whatever. If you start to lose focus, things can start to happen that are not so fun. So I've learned over the years, like when I start feeling a certain way, it's like, yeah, back off. I'm starting to get a little tired, and my focus is starting to waver just a bit, enough that I got that catch. I haven't gotten a catch like that in a long time. So like, yeah, that's enough. It's time to stop. So keep that in mind. Turn safely. That is my biggest pet peeve, I guess, with people is like, man, you want to do this for a while. You got to do it as safe as you can. Don't blindly follow YouTube videos, people doing things with the lathe.
Paranoid squatch.
Yeah, that's
Say,
how I got
stay
started, and
alert,
I got
stay
in
alive.
trouble. Right, stay alert, stay alive. That's absolutely correct. And it doesn't matter what discipline it is you're working with. You stay alert, you stay alive. So, yeah, I will most likely hollow this tomorrow. We'll see let's see, tomorrow's Thursday. Yeah, I think, yeah, cool. I think I get a chance to I think so. I don't know. I forgot. Look at my schedule. Anyway, for those of you who may have caught the last bit of the broadcast, my name's Dave. Howdy. I'm a wood turner, disabled vet. I started turning as therapy for PTSD. Found out I had a knack for it and fell in love with that turning, and then started teaching it. Fell in love with that. So I started the channel, become a better teacher and a better demonstrator and a better turner, because the secret sauce is practice. That's it. There's no shortcuts. I'm sorry to disappoint you. I also am slightly disappointed by that, but there are no shortcuts. It takes practice. Um, but the things that I can teach you, the things that other turners that can teach you, that can carry you a long ways. Especially with your own exploration of what you can do with your tools. I don't like unitaskers unless the unitasker there is no other, like, usually the
thanks for the great stream.
hey, thanks for the kind words. I appreciate it. The biggest example is that I usually come up with is a street key. There is no other tool that will do what a street key can do. It's a unitasker, does one thing, but it does it perfectly. Uh, those I can deal with. I can deal with unitaskers like that because that's what they're for. But to have tools, not be able to use or get as much out of them as I'd like to get, um, I'm still going to explore. I'm still going to figure stuff out. Tools are expensive, and I want to be able to get as much use out of them as I can. And working at the lathe, there's a lot of ways to combine the cuts that you learn to create the surfaces that you want. And those things I am constantly exploring, not only through my own practice, but vicariously watching and helping other turners as well. So, anyway, I want to say thank you very much for joining me this evening, this Wood Turning Wednesday here on Twitch. I'll be back again next week, Tuesday and Wednesday night, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. I hope you stay friendly, folks. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and I hope to see you next week. Thanks again for the great support. Thanks for joining me. See you again soon.